It was 1814, the British came ashore. They burned our capital city, then they sailed for Baltimore. Francis Scott Key was a lawyer with a flag inside his heart. He sailed out to the British ship to plead for a prisoner's release in the dark. They kept him aboard through the night as the cannons roared loud. The rocket's red glare lit the sky over Fort McHenry's proud. All through that long and fearful night, he watched with aching eyes, wondering if our flag still stood beneath those bursting bombs in the sky. By the dawn's early light, through the perilous fight, that star-spangled banner still waved in the morning light. Oh, say, can you see what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Our banner prevailed. 250 years later, we still sing that song of the land of the free and the home of the brave, where we belong. When morning broke on September 14th, that flag was still there, 31 feet by 42, tattered but proud in the air. Key pulled an old letter from his pocket and wrote on the back the words that would echo through history from that faithful attack. By the dawn's early light, through the perilous fight, that star-spangled banner still waved in the morning light. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? 250 years of freedom, we still stand tall for the nation that answered when liberty called. From that fort in Baltimore to every battlefield since, that song became our anthem through triumph and through pain. It carried us through world wars, through struggles and through tears, a reminder of the price that was paid for all these years.
start because I like this song, but that's all right. We'll start anyway. Hello, everybody. My name's Ian. This is Starship Adventures, the sights and sounds of Earth. And this is our show for Tuesday night, July 7th, 2026. It's 9:13 on the East Coast, 6:13 on the left coast, behind enemy lines. Welcome, 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 everybody. I hope this show finds you well this evening. Tonight, we got, we got a building that's about to fall down, so we'll start with that. Also, Iran went back on the agreement today completely. And I have no idea what's going to go on now. So we'll cover that a little bit later on. Let me just say this right up front. I am a MAGA to the end. Okay, I am a Trump supporter. I've always been a Trump supporter. Okay. I think this war was a mistake at the time that he did it. I know why he did it. I agree with why he did it. But I think the timing was just, it was bad. There's no way you're going to get this done in time to get into this midterm election. So, I'm a little dismayed tonight because we're back to square one. We are literally trying to negotiate with people who live in the 6th century. They have old world mentality, if you will. I don't know how you reason with these people. An agreement to them means nothing because they know they're going to break it. They break every agreement they've ever, did I mention ever agreed to? Yes. Because this is who they are. This is what happens when a sovereign country is taken over by a terrorist organization. This is what happens. This is what happens when you have millions of people that worship a religion that openly calls for violence against non-believers. Hey, Maggie. Hey, RWL. Hello, everybody. Dispatch, thank you for being here tonight. Jungle, Moorhead, thank you, guys. It just works. And Ted, let's see here. Hey, Heath, welcome in tonight. And I was there was a message that I got that I wanted to respond to. I don't know, maybe it'll come up again. The part of the building is leaning. I got to tell you guys, this is some shit right here. Look. This building was built in the 60s. Why are they adding floors to it? I think this is bad news, Bears. I don't know what's going to happen. I listened to a specialist today. He's like, well, it's just going to fall apart. It's not going to fall down. Okay, thanks for your help. Please show yourself to the door. Yeah, so whatever. A little more white light on the scene. There we go. Hey, there we go. I don't look like I'm red-faced with hysteria or anything. Okay. You can't negotiate with these people. You're right, RWL. They are literally, and when I say literally, I don't mean it like the liberals do. I mean literally, meaning like for real. It's like dealing with somebody from the 6th century, and you're not going to get anywhere with them. It's a third world country. They're operating in the 6th century, and the only reason they have anything is because they got it from us. I don't think they've invented anything there except new ways to kill. And unfortunately, we're stuck in this situation here now. And I don't know what the answer is to get out. I know Trump doesn't want to level the place, but we're getting there. You know, they've given those people every opportunity to stand up against that government. However, I do not blame them for not doing it. They shot thousands of protesters dead for protesting. So, a murderous dictator regime. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that in a little while. There's not a whole lot to talk, but we will talk about it in just a little while. And let's see here, what else? I think you're right, Moorhead. I think we're going to have to just go in there and level it. I don't know what else to do. I hate to do that. These are people we're talking about and all that, but yeah, I just can't. I can't figure out any other solution. They're never going to follow whatever they come up with. Whatever you say, okay, this is, you know, oh, what is going on here? Oh, there we go. I got a browser window acting weird. I don't know what's up with that. The volcanoes are calming down tonight. There was nothing real big I could find. Okay, dispatch. I don't know if I've checked my text. The ringer's off since the show. If it's about that work I'm working on with you, yes. I've already sent more. I've already sent, I think, 9 more proofs or whatever of that sign you're wanting. So yeah, you're good, and I'll be glad to tweak it tomorrow. If you don't like the way something's worded or whatever, just send it back to me. I don't mind doing that kind of stuff. Easy peasy. All right. So just go ahead and yeah. If there's anything else you want me to tweak, let me know. Check those ones I just sent, and let me know what you think. All right. So. The first thing we're going to talk about is this building collapse situation that is going on in New York City. Now, there is other things going on. There's this whole Plattner mess. There's the war back on again. We're going to get the... Daddy, please. Not... The kamikaze shit is not going to work. You guys are going to take me off the air. At least he's jumping. No, I don't need you either. Come here. What are you doing? What are you guys doing? What's the deal? Okay, sorry about that. So this building collapse. This is not a good deal here. This doesn't happen a lot, but it happens, and we're going to talk about some of the complicated issues that this brings up tonight, because it does bring up some complicated issues. Come over here. This does bring up some complicated issues. Now I feel bad because I kicked Daddy Kitty off the counter here. All right, come here. This is my sick kitty, guys. This is Daddy Kitty. My D-Doll, as I call him. He's pretty sick. His eyes have been, stuff's been coming out of his eyes, and it's gotten kind of dried around his eyes. What I just did was clean his eyes again. They get so bad. He's had a lung infection. I found him like all messed up out in the yard with shit coming out of his eyes and everything, and so I brought him in. He's lived in here with me now for 7 days, I think 6 or 7 days, which he's not used to, but he likes it. Air conditioning, 24-hour food service. I mean, what's not to love, right? Because they get fed outside twice a day, but the ones in here, they have food down all the time. So for a cat, that's a perk. You know, you pay for that kind of perk. But anyway, see, he's loving all over me. He's feeling better. Yesterday and today, he's feeling better. And so that's awesome. Isn't that right, Dino? Isn't that right? Look at those poor eyes. So sad. Sad eyes. All right. He doesn't act like he's in any pain at all. He dropped like 5 pounds, like half his body weight. But he's clearing up now, and he's not losing any more weight. I'm giving him wet food twice a day. I'm trying my best to keep him going. All right. So we're watching. This is supposed to be coverage on the building, but I see they're kind of bouncing around. I may change that out with something else, but anyway, yeah, that's I don't know what they're doing there. You know, you got a building about to collapse, and they're running stupid programming, whatever, like literally whatever. It's just a building. It's just collapsing. It's not, you know, it's not that big a deal. I don't know why we're making such a big deal out of it. Just a building. It's just collapsing. It's no big deal. Let's see here. Weather-wise, there we go. All right, and yeah, we've got. I'll go ahead and we'll put that up. I've got right now. That's my area. That's Cape Coral, and that storm just dissipated over. It blossomed into a huge thunderstorm, and then it just literally folded up on itself and went away. And there you go. We're zooming out of Florida. Let's see what we got going on in the world. Let's go to Well, let's first go to outlooks. This is where we're looking at our bad weather tonight. It's going to be in this area, and so let's look at the composite and see what we got here. We got a few severe thunderstorm warnings. Not a lot of storm chasers. We do have an observed flash flood situation that's going on here with evacuation orders. It looks like. And that's going to be going on right here in upper northeast Tennessee. And also another evacuation order here, flash flood observed, and that's going to also be on the Tennessee-North Carolina line. Daddy, you keep getting hung up in this no-stick material stuff. What is it? What's the deal? You know that rubber mat? I'm a sucker for that rubber mat. I've got it all over everything. But he gets his claws caught in it. All right, so anyway, let's get back to the main story of the night, which is this building that is literally collapsing on itself. This building used to have Pfizer. Pfizer is a big medical company that makes pharmaceuticals. Anyway, it's been completely evacuated, and the adjacent buildings have also been evacuated until they can figure out exactly what they're going to do. Officials with the New York Fire Department say they received a call today about 7:57 a.m. this morning about falling bricks at 235 East 42nd Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenue. I don't know how 42nd... No, that makes sense. The 200 block would be between, yeah, so that's correct. Okay. Thought officials later said there was no evidence of any fallen bricks. So I think bricks fell and people took them as souvenirs before the firemen got there. The building was constructed in the 1960s. Now, this is important. It was constructed in the 1960s. Now, I was constructed in 69, and I can tell you I am not doing so well holding shit up right now. So I can just imagine what this building's going through. The building was constructed in 1960 and was a corporate headquarters for the pharmaceutical company Pfizer, which moved to this. They moved out of New York to Houston, another big company to leave New York and move to either Texas or Florida. And New York City Mayor Kami Memdami told reporters at a press conference near the building that the structure remains unstable and that residents should stay away from the area. And then he said communism is good and everybody should embrace communism. A Midtown high-rise building was evacuated. Why is it giving me that again? The 37-story building, a 37-story building built in the 60s, was staggering between the 21st and 26th floors, according to FDNY, or FUDNY as I call them. Ooh, let me turn that down. Holy shit. Yeah, let me turn that way down. All right, there we go. We don't need all that noise. By the way, I turned off alerts for like basic thunderstorm warnings and stuff, so it's not going to be going off unless it's something we kind of need to pay attention to. And so I'll put it up here on the side of the screen. But I don't believe we have no tornado warnings. No tornado warnings at this time. Okay, so let me put this back up here on this warned area and put it in motion, and we'll continue with this. The 37-story building was staggering between the 21st and 26th floors, according to FUDNY. First responders also noted that 2 columns buckled between the 21st and 22nd floors. Since arriving on scene, we have witnessed additional movement in one of the compromised columns, according to Kami Memdami. This is an extremely serious situation, and I am thankful to our first responders for quickly arriving at the scene, and to New Yorkers for reacting calmly with urgency to evacuate the area. Memdami confirmed earlier reports that there were no injuries and that all the construction workers who had been inside the building have safely gotten out. And there's been no injuries so far. If this thing were to fall down right now, hopefully nobody will get killed. I mean, that would be a miracle. But right now, we got people working up in there. Now, let me draw your attention to box number 1, which is a multi-screen composite of New York that someone's putting out. Box number 2 is from the Associated Press, and that's looking into 5.5 of the windows there on the floor where the buckling's going on, and you can see people working in there. You would not get my ass in that building. I'm just putting that out there. I was a firefighter, okay, and I taught the Francis Brannigan class for fire service, building construction for the fire service. I still have the book, and this is a hazardous ass situation right here. I don't know who in their right mind thinks that it's the right idea right now to go into this building, but they're in there. They're trying to shore it up. I saw them interview one guy that said, yeah, it's coming down for sure. It's going to take a while, but it will eventually fail. Small failure will lead to another small failure, which will lead to a moderate failure, and eventually it will fail to the point that part of it will fall down. Then they interviewed another guy an hour later, and he says, no, it's still superstructure. It's going to lean and wobble and do shit, but for the most part, it's not going anywhere. Okay. 2 specialists that know what they're talking about, and both talking out of both sides of their ass, because they're both giving exact opposite stories. Truth is, neither one of them know exactly what's going on up there. It seems the building was empty. It's being renovated. The evacuation that we talked about, everybody got evacuated. Those were the workers working in there doing the renovation. Now, it sounds to me like there could have been a mistake, but you don't mistakenly remove an upright girder in a building this size, okay? I mean, so I don't know what the mistake would be. The damage looks pretty bad. The room looks compacted. I'm going to see if I can pull up some pictures, and we're just going to do some pictures. I want you guys to see what this looks like, because it's kind of crazy. Let me put this over here. I got this little table in auxiliary control here, and I got my daddy kitty who wants to sit with me. And since I don't know how long he's going to be around, he gets to do whatever he wants. All right, so let's go over here. Let's pull up. Oh, God, I hate Bing. Let me go to Google. Bing is a terrible search engine. Absolutely dregs. Just a terrible search engine. All right, so let me do that there. Let me go over here, get Grok. Wow. Okay. All right, so here we go. Let's do this first. Images. Okay, let me capture this. Standby. I got things set up a little better on my other computer, but it is what it is. I don't have it here. Damn it. Okay, let's take a look at some pictures. These were taken earlier today. Now, I want you to notice something about this picture. Okay, you can see my mouse here. Notice this bottom row of windows is perfectly straight with the picture. Notice the canter of this top piece up here. Now, I'm telling you guys, this is several feet of change. Okay? This is scary shit right here. Oh, good. The liberal success stories on liberal success stories tonight. We got Kingsland, and we've got all the fentanyl people out there doing their thing, and yeah, there's other drugs too. And you know, I like to remind you guys anytime I have a spare window, I like to remind people just how well the liberal philosophy has done over the last 20 years in our country. Anyway, back to the other window. I want you to see the canter on that. I started with this picture on purpose because you can really see the canter on it. Now, there's a picture of the building from distance. Okay, and you can see there it's like a stack, you know, with smaller stacks, and that part we're looking at is about midway here up the building. Okay, and you can see there's all kinds of different pictures here. Here's the beam. Can you guys see that? Yeah, there's the beam. That's one of the beams. Now, one thing I noticed about this beam, normally you would not worry about the color of it because it's probably sprayed with fire retardant. But that beam looks weird. I would investigate that beam for rusting or anything. Normally, red steel is so thick that even if it rusts for 50 years, it's not going to lose its structural integrity. But you also have to look at, was this building built on the cheap? Did they use shitty concrete? Were the beams not up to stuff? They're going to be testing all of this, and it's going to be very important to get those answers. I'm showing my volume slightly higher than normal. But I can do a couple things that would make it better. Remember, I am in auxiliary control. Ow! Stop! Oh, Christ. God damn it. God damn it! You okay? You okay? You okay? You didn't do anything wrong. You okay? I gotta check those paws. You okay? All right. I just smashed my dying cat's paw really bad. And I'm really pissed that I did it, and I didn't mean to do it. But this fucking chair goes right up against the goddamn table, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm stuck in this room. I cannot put on decent shows without a decent fucking studio to work in. Shit. Ridiculous. All right. All right, as far as my volume goes, let me put this more in my face. Come on, you bitch. I am just not in the mood tonight. I was in a great mood about 20 minutes ago. I just smashed his paw really bad. He's not even limping, but I just... The last thing I want is him to get injured in what could be the last week of his life. And then he ran because he thought he was in trouble. And that's when I yell because I'm mad. And then they think they did something wrong. And then I have to go find him and apologize to him. Whatever. I'm done with this. This is very difficult sometimes, guys, to devote every single night of your life to something like this. And every single freaking day when I turn on my YouTube, I have less subscribers than the day before. For 5 months now. 5 months now. My subscribers have gone down and not up. I have not had it every day, even on a good day. July 4th, I gained a few subscribers on a good day. How long do you keep doing this? Expecting to do good. How long do you do this when you put in your sweat, your blood, your tears? You're on here every frickin' night without dinner, without anything, trying to do a show that people will like. And I'm losing subscribers for 5 consecutive months. I don't know what to do. And it frustrates me because I come in here and I try to put on a good show every night. And I'm hot. This air conditioner can barely keep this room cool with all this equipment running in here. It's not designed for this. I'm just really upset right now. This the whole thing just sucks. No, I get very mad when I hurt a cat, and I never do it on purpose, but it pisses me off because I don't want them to ever think that I tried to hurt them or anything. But they know, they tend to understand, you know, I don't know, whatever, damn it. And I put all that into Grok and nothing ever happened. So there we go. Nope, nothing ever happened. So that was all a waste. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm just going to go off of this. And I know it's because I'm conservative. I think this is the part that hurts me the most. I see people out there that are liberals. They do their show in front of piles of dirty laundry. Okay? They're not entertaining. They're not funny. And they've got the silver plaque and 500,000 subscribers, and they're making great money, and they can travel all over and do the things that they're doing on their channel. And I'm like, this guy sucks. He has no production quality. His cameras are garbage. He's not providing anything to you except him driveling on about something. And I'm like, what's he doing that I'm not doing? Oh, that's right. He's a liberal and I'm a conservative. 6 years I've been peddling away at this channel. And I don't know what to do. They are shadow banning. Basically, they don't give me any impressions. I get the same people in every night. Why? Because they don't. Thanks, Usotech. Thanks for joining. That helps push it back the other way a little bit. Thank you. For those just joining us, I don't normally rant like this unless it's about liberals. But I got to tell you, or commies, but I got to tell you guys today, I just got in a bad mood. I'm trying to work on a backup computer. It's a great computer, but it's got Windows 11 in it. Windows 11, the dregs of society. Literally, Windows 11. Garbage. Terrible shit garbage. And so I'm trying to put a show on with this inferior operating system in a room that's too small. I don't know. My AC's out, my pump's out. I can't get my prime. I think my well's gone dry. Yeah. No, and I'm not begging for money. Nobody send me any money. My air conditioner's out in the studio. My computer in the studio is giving me the blue screen of death. I'm hoping that's just a heat-related problem. I spent 2 hours today in 2 tanks of water trying to reprime my pump, and it will not prime. There's nothing wrong with the pump. It won't prime because my well is dry. So yeah, it's kind of a mess, and that's my jerked up life. So when I'm in here trying to put on a show and it gets all messed up, you guys just have to stick with me and understand it. That's all. Thanks, Jungle, for the gift membership. I appreciate that. And Moorhead, you just got a free gift membership. There you go. So say something good came out of this rant. Okay, so there you go. Guys, listen. Yeah, dehydrated, I'm looking at 2 or 3 different options with this laptop, but keeping Windows 11 like it is not one of the options. I've already run programs to make it work and look like Windows 10, but that only goes so far. It's still the garbage operating system inside there. So I've got it to where it looks just like 10. If you looked at it, you'd swear it's 10 until you pulled up a menu. Teddy, stop loving on the screens and the cameras. Yeah. I had the little kitty in earlier, but he wanted to go right back out tonight. I don't know why. Anyway, let's go back to this building. The building that we're talking about, the one that might collapse tonight, the building is in the process of being converted into an apartment complex with more than 1,600 units. The project was slated for completion by 2027, the New York Times reported. Approximately 130 fire and EMS personnel were activated to evacuate people from the premises. 6 others surrounded the building were also evacuated as a precaution. 6 other surrounding buildings were also evacuated, and some of those may remain evacuated for a while. I don't know. And this brings up the whole thing. What if my cat's up there? What if my goldfish is up there? You know, we had this problem at Surfside when half of that building collapsed. People's cats and people's pets were stuck up there. And they blew the rest of the building up. They didn't give a shit about your pets. I will give credit. The fire department went out there with their ladder trucks, and they went and smashed all the windows where pets were supposed to be, and tried to go and get them without. They could only go like 3 feet from the ladder truck or whatever, but they were trying to get the animals. So there was an attempt made. Some of the animals they thought may have escaped during the ensuing evacuation. But that's sad when you think about that, to have to sit there and look up at that building. Your animal's starving up there and it's going to be dead soon. That's got to really suck. In an earlier unrelated press conference, the Kami Memdami said one of the nearby buildings that was evacuated was a school and that 400 children were inside. How could that be an unrelated press conference and he's talking about a school being evacuated because of this building? The New York Police Department blocked off traffic from 40th Street to 45th Streets between 1st and 3rd Avenues, according to Kami Memdami. Can you guys hear me okay now, I hope? In response to reporters' questions about how serious the situation was, Fire Chief John E. Esposito, said he remains concerned that the building is continuing to move and to shimmy. We have specialized tools that can watch the building from a distance and see any movement in centimeters or fractions of an inch. What they've got devices they can go in there real quick and put in there. And then this device, thank you guys, this device measures the exact distance between 2 points. There was a shopping mall in China, and they went out and put these devices in there, and they actually, over the course of hours, you could see the building slowly coming apart. There is, of course, they didn't evacuate anybody, and a bunch of people died. So anyway, there you go on that. In this one here, everybody's out, so hopefully that's good. But now they've got workers in there. You can see them working in there in the top middle window. You can literally see them working in there. I don't know what that does or why that's going on. I don't know why they're in there, but okay. All right, so let's go back over here and let's look at some more of these pictures. This picture here shows the buckling of an interior wall. That's just thin metal stud there. They were probably putting in metal stud. They were ripping out wood stud and putting in metal stud. That reduces the weight of a building more than you'll ever know. But it does. The rumor is, and I'm hoping to get to it in this story, but the rumor is that they were adding floors to this thing. My God, it's 60 years old and you're going to add floors to it? No, I like Jeb Bush. I didn't want him to be my president, but I like Jeb. He's okay. Jeb! Yeah, the funny story there was, he called him low energy Jeb, which really stuck, because anything Trump calls somebody, it usually sticks. They called him low energy Jeb, and it stuck. It sure did. It stuck. But here's the thing. They called him low energy Jeb. So what did his campaign do? All of his new campaign signs said Jeb, and they had an exclamation point at the end. That was how they addressed the low energy. He's not low energy. He's got an exclamation point. Jeb! Anyway, it was just a joke. It's fun. All right. But no, I haven't heard from him in a while. I think all the Bushes are sitting somewhere drinking Mai Tais. All right. Yeah, I haven't heard anything from any of them, so I don't know. Now, the fire chief said they put this equipment in place, and hours later they had seen constant movement in the building. That's not good. But yet they got people in here. I don't know, dude. I'm a little confused. I would think that maybe you shouldn't put anybody in there. That's just me. So where's this collapse at? Well, there you go. It's I don't know why that's not showing properly. God bless. Why can't nothing ever freaking work? Damn it. Everything I do has to be redone. Stupid. All right, so there's where it's at. It's right near the United Nations building. I was kind of hoping maybe it would fall that direction and take out the UN building, but maybe not. I don't think it'll actually reach that far. All right, so finally, it's a steel frame building. So a lot of the people out there are saying that they're not expecting any kind of full-scale collapse because it's a steel superstructure inside the building. Really? What's that got to do with it? Steel buildings collapse, i.e. World Trade 1 and World Trade 2 and 7. I'm not sure I understand that completely. Thanks, Victor. I appreciate that. Don't be lying. You got your free membership. Yeah, here's a good one here. This shows, look at the buckling. That shows you how much that ceiling has come down. This would scare the hell out of me. I mean, this building, look at the ones back here in the background. Look, I mean, Jesus, you can't even see it. God damn it. I'm not having a good night, guys, at all. I'm getting ready to call this thing. I can't do this. Some nights, everything fights me. I actually believe that there is forces at work that on the other side that torment us, and that's how we develop. Anyway, there, you can see there. Look in the background. Look at all these studs, and look how out of position they are. Here, let me hit the damn button. There. Now you can see it finally. There's another shot at that top section up here is buckling, and it's coming down. You can see this is leaning down. You can see this right here. This is compressing down. Lots of different pictures of the building here. Of course, they're all going to look weird and funky. All right, that's about what we have. There is no other pictures of the inside. There's the general layout of the building. Let me see what this is all about. Maybe this will. The building on East 42nd Street, the former headquarters of Pfizer, was converted to apartments. Was being converted to apartments. Several upper floors have begun to sag. We know all this. No one was hurt. What kind of work's being done? Oh my God, 400 of the 1,600 apartments were earmarked as affordable. So I guess that means the rest of them were going to be unaffordable. I love how they put that. Yeah, it's a big building, guys, and but there's only one portion of it. I don't think the whole thing's going to come down, but they're saying because of the type of structure it is, it may not be a complete failure. but more of this floor and more of this section could come down. And if enough of it comes down at one time, it will begin a pancake collapse, which is what happened at World Trade. So that's what another thing you got to worry about there. The Department of Buildings Commissioner in New York, Ahmed Dashta, said there is an investigation underway to figure out the cause of the columns buckling. We feel like the next step is making sure we can get into the 21st floor to add additional emergency trusses to spread the load, according to Ahmed. Officials say the situation is changing by the minute. So there you go, guys. That's the building collapse. We're going to continue to watch this on the extra screens here. We will continue to watch and see if anything happens. They got people in there, so I'm hoping that they're relatively sure that it's okay to have people in there. Yes, it's a former Pfizer headquarters. Yeah. No, not Phaser, Pfizer. Just making sure. Okay. Let's see here. What do we got next? Trey had such good notes tonight. I brought them home with me. It's true. Claude. This is Trey's headlines right here. I don't know if you guys could read that. Okay, Claude. So here's what Claude's doing. Claude, as you guys know, I think this is it here. Yeah, all my papers got messed up, guys. I'm sorry. When I almost killed my dying cat. Okay, there we go. All right, here we are. Here we are. Okay, so what the actual F? Claude's hidden thinking space. This is interesting. You know, I love to talk about AI. I love AI, and I love to talk about the fear and the phobia that is being caused because of AI. And let me tell you something. The foreign influence is out there. If you guys are one of these people, it's like, well, I read on Facebook that it's going to steal all the water from my town, and so I'm against it. That's exactly what the Chinese wanted you to do. Okay, it's China. The whole water thing is pretty much Chinese disinformation. There is some truth that earlier ones used systems that actually did use quite a bit of municipal water. That isn't the case anymore. So the whole thing is, okay, the Chinese want us to fail at AI so they can beat us. They're building right now 10 robots for every one we build. Okay, and Russia is there feeding the fire, fanning the flames. And so we've got to keep our AI train on the track and going at full speed. So what do? Just like with the laptop disinformation this and the Russian gate that and the bullshit this with Trump and all that. Just like they do with Trump trying to smear his name and coming up with lies and bullshit. China does this, and so does Russia, and so does the Middle East to a certain degree. And all these people are doing this. But this time, you know what the message is they're giving us? These data centers are bad. You don't want one in your neighborhood. They're going to suck. They're noisy. Not true. If you're a quarter mile away, you will not hear it. Okay? Not noisy. You can put this thing out in the middle of nowhere. Okay? Takes all the water from municipalities. Horseshit. Horseshit. I call horseshit. And the other one is, oh, and your electric bill's going to go up. Complete horseshit. These new plants, these new big ones, provide all their own electricity. They provide all their own electricity. Okay? So why would you... We just had DeSoto County here, a small rural county, has put on a moratorium on AI, on any kind of data centers. And I'm thinking, you people are stupid. Stupido. That's right. And let me tell you why they're stupid. Okay, you ready? Here it goes. They're stupid because It's $1 million billion, and when I say million billion, I don't know how much. It's probably, I don't know. It's the building and the equipment and everything. It's going to be probably a $500 million investment, a $200 million investment, whatever. Your city and county get to tax that, you idiots. I want an AI center right next door to my house. I don't understand why people don't want these things. They're amazing. They use very little resources, but see, that's the lie. They use up all the resources. They don't. Very little fire service, very little police, very little EMS, very little water, municipal water, the electricity they make themselves, the land they put it where you tell them to put it, code enforcement, right? So what's the problem? Why would your city not want this? This is a cash cow. You don't give tax breaks to these people. You charge them full ass price. And then you do what we do down here. You hit them with what they call impact fees. Okay? We have impact fees. We've had them down here for 30 years. And here's what an impact fee does. If you want to build a big, huge civic center in my fire district, I'm going to say, hey, you can build it. We'd love to have you. I need a ladder truck because my ladder truck won't reach the top of your building. So I need a bigger ladder truck. And you make them buy you a ladder truck. See, this can be a net positive for your community. You can get police stuff out of it. You can get an ambulance out of it. Whatever you think you're going to need for that facility, you make them buy it for you. This is how stupid these cities and these counties are. Why would you not do this? It's tax money. Look at all the jobs that are going to move into your county. And they're all decent paying jobs too. They're going to bring up the aggregate pay in your county. And this building will actually bring up your property values. That's what this whole thing drives me nuts because the Chinese and the Russians and others to a degree they got data centers working 24 hours a day with these little creeps in there. And what they do is they send out disinformation and they convince you on social media by putting out fake news stories, by putting out stupid press releases, by putting out real news stories, by putting out whatever, by putting out posts and generating comments and everything that they do. They create disinformation. And what this disinformation is that you don't want one of these AI things in your community because, oh my God, they take all the water. Oh my God, they take all the electricity. Oh my God, they're noisy. That's what the communists are wanting you to think. You realize that? They're playing you like a fiddle. If you're one of these people that's, I don't want no AI, it's one of two things. You're being played like a fiddle, or you're just a chicken shit about the future. I don't know which it is. I'm sorry if I lose a few people, but I'm just putting it on the line right now, guys. We need to stay ahead of this. We have got to stay ahead of China on this. We've got to stay ahead of Russia and everybody else. We have got to be out in front on this. And the only way we can do that is to build AI data centers and robotic labs and robotic construction facilities as quickly as we can. Fear be damned at this point. The fear should be on what those people are going to do when they have robot armies and we don't. That's what you should be worried about. I don't want it in my town because it's going to suck up my water. You want these data centers because they're going to be our protection in the future. They're going to be our protection. They're going to be what gets it. They're going to be the centers that keep us safe from their AI attacks. It's inevitable. It's coming. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. It's done. It's the road to Terminator and eventually the Matrix. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. So what do? Do we live for 100 years from now? Or do we be scared and live in a closet? Or do we fight like hell to be the best at it, like we do in America? That's what we do in America. We fight like hell. We're the first ones on the moon. We created so many things here, light bulbs and chips and solid state technology. We have created, this is where it happens here, but not anymore. You see, we are on the cusp of losing that edge, that superior edge that we've always had when it comes to inventions, when it comes to America making shit that's real. Making shit that makes your life better, makes your life easier, makes your loved ones live longer. This is so important. This is so important. We have got to build these data centers as quick as we can build them. Dom, I believe that schools should be paid for by whatever means we need to pay for them. I've been a big proponent for years to put attorneys' ads on the side of the school buses. Hey, you know what we spend? You know we spend just as much on transportation as we do on schools and teachers and principals. Yeah, transportation is expensive. Logistics is a bitch, especially when it's humans. And that's why, again, I'm fine with attorney's signs. I don't want marijuana dispensaries or liquor stores. Okay, we can draw some lines in the sand, but I want those buses paid for by advertisements. I don't want to pay for them anymore. Fox has got Memdami on. That's wonderful. I don't want to take what that asshole's saying anyway, but whatever. The Gutfeld. Anyway, they're showing him on Fox Raw. Never mind. We can see if it's a presser. Let's take it. Let's see what we got here. Let's listen to what Kami's saying.
Affordable tickets for New Yorkers to attend Gotham FC matches and World Cup games. We've opened up soccer fields for people to play.
He's talking about something obviously more important.
Close down city streets so that New Yorkers can practice their skills. Today's announcement builds on the work we have already done to make soccer more accessible and affordable for all New Yorkers.
Oh,
Jesus
God.
And it is an investment in our young female athletes who are too often overlooked. Instead of begging their parents to have to take them to New Jersey, girls growing up in Jackson Heights, Sunnyside, and Flushing will now be able to get on the 7 train after school and watch some of the greatest soccer players in the world go to work. And they will be able to go to a game for a price their families can afford. Tickets to a Gotham FC game begin at just $24.
He's got a building collapsing in his city and millions of people starving to death on the streets, and he's talking about more soccer opportunities.
To bring people and communities together. It is a game that holds the rare power of giving New Yorkers a glimpse into another world. One
Soccer
beyond the rent
sucks.
that still needs to be paid, the doctor's appointment that still needs to be scheduled, the workday still set to start early in the morning. It is a game that with every Cruyff turn, every bicycle kick, every goal brings joy into New Yorkers' lives. That brings people to their feet. Soccer is the people's game.
That's
New York
interesting,
City
Lambert.
is the people's city. And for decades to come, the people will now be able to watch Gotham FC show off the world's game in the world's borough. The best is yet to come. Thank you, my friends.
Oh, I'm so glad he's covering something important. Hey, asshole, the building's falling down.
And with that, I want to pass it over to our governor, Kathy Hochul.
Oh, there we go. Another commie that's not quite as communist as he is.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, we're not going to talk about last night. But there's always, and I'm so proud of our team as well. So proud of
isn't this great, guys?
the energy
Look,
behind
isn't this great?
the
Our
men's
government
team
doing
and how
important
well
shit for us,
went
right?
and defied expectations.
Here it is, Kami Memdami.
So many different places, and so we love them.
Our
we
soccer
cherish
team
them,
lost.
and
Get
look
over it.
forward
I
to,
hope they
future
cancel the
successes
whole
with
thing
them as
next
well.
year.
Also, I want to thank not just the mayor, but also Carolyn Tish Blodgett, the owner of Gotham FC. We had. We had a conversation a little while ago, and she kind of tipped me off that this might be happening. And I said, let's make it happen, because where else but New York should be their home? These women deserve the very best. And we can offer the very best, give them more capacity for more fans, the excitement that even the players feel when they see a larger audience cheering them and rooting them on. And so it's going to transform everything. And I'm so proud to be associated with this as well. And to everyone who's been acknowledged, our elected officials.
What is he talking? This is some soccer bullshit.
Queens getting a lot these days, Donovan Richards.
Like anybody gives a shit about soccer right now. I'm so glad it's almost over. That FIFA's the most corrupt organization ever.
I just want to make a couple references.
That is literally the most corrupt organization ever, that
we're still on a
FIFA.
high from watching the New York Knicks and going down the Canyon of Heroes, and not long ago watching Lady Liberty, the Liberty basketball team. We all had the same place. We watched the parade and celebrated, and we love our championship teams. We love our teams overall.
Poke 'em and Kami
And
Mem
also
Dami.
just
Here we go.
what the World Cup has brought to this city, even for people who never really paid much
Yeah,
attention
and
to it.
Moorhead,
There are
there's a
such people, I
great
don't
thing
know,
right
but
there.
are.
You're
I know
exactly
there
right.
are.
Oh, we'll
But
get
they
you
all
into
fall
this
in
soccer
love
game for
with it all
25
over
bucks.
again. Or maybe
But
they
don't
played
bring
as
your
children
car.
but lost the
Don't
connection
bring
with
your
it. But
car.
because
And if
the
you're
World
taking
Cup and all the
you're
energy
taking
and
an
seeing
Uber,
people
you got to
wearing
go over
the
2
flags of
bridges.
their
The
countries
toll
and
is plus
filling
the
our
Uber plus
bars
the
and
tip, probably
had a chance
$100
to say
bucks.
goodbye to people getting on the very inexpensive buses that we provided, $20 round trip. That is a deal, my friends.
Oh,
If
that's
you're
a
leaving
deal.
Columbus Circle,
That's a deal. You have to wait
representing
2
their
hours
teams,
to
and I
get
jumped
on,
the
and it's
bus
going to bring you late to
said,
the
"I'm a
game, and
former
then you'll have to
soccer
wait
mom,
2 hours
so
to get
I'm
on
gonna
one to
give
go
everybody
home."
a juice box and an orange so you can be hydrated when you're out there. And people are just
I'm
so
sick of
happy
people
these
acting like
days.
sports
And
stars
soccer
or
has
heroes.
been that unifying
You know, take it from
force.
somebody that
And
crawled
so
into
now to
burning
make
buildings
this
for nearly
announcement
20
at this
years.
moment in history is just
I
the
really
perfect-
get exhausted
perfect
with everybody
timing
being called a
to
hero.
say we're
I don't
taking it
consider
to the
myself a
next
hero.
level. This is all about giving the women
I
what
saved
they
a lot of
deserved
lives,
all
but
along.
hero
They've
is
always
something
deserved
I
first
reserve
rate.
for our fighting men or rare examples
They
in public
deserve the
safety.
pay. They deserve the facilities.
And I hate when they
deserve
start
the
talking
fans, and we're
about
going
these
to be delivering
effing
that right
sports
here in New
people
York.
like
And
they're
so
heroes
I wanted
and-
to say how proud I
Oh
am
my
to be
God,
part
he's
of
such
this.
a hero.
Here in New York,
No,
we
he's
believe
a
in
ball
soccer.
kicker, for
We believe
Christ's
in
sake.
the unlimited possibilities of unifying people from around the world into a common spirit, a common cause. And so I'm going to continue supporting this team. I'll be at many of the matches, I'm sure, but also just wanna
Bullshit.
say,
She won't be at a single one.
this is your home. This is your home. And I just had a great conversation with Ellie Krieger, an inspiration
Yep.
to so many.
And
So
see,
let's give another
Dom,
round of
very
applause.
similar
Ellie
to
Krieger,
this,
World Cup champion, legend,
the
ambassador to
the
Galaxy
railroads
FC.
created a negative
And as I said
impact,
at the
so
end
they
of it,
gave back
I said
by
the immortal
creating
words of Taylor
hospitals.
Swift,
That's a
"Welcome to
very
New York,
common
Gotham
thing like
FC."
that. It's the same thing here.
Congratulations.
If the data center creates an issue, and we have no way of dealing with that issue, then we use impact fees. We move it to another location. We make them provide their own water and electricity, whatever it takes. But none of this is a reason not to do it. What are they talking about now? This is ridiculous.
FC, and I couldn't be prouder to be your Queensboro president, Donovan Richards. Let me be the first to say the 3 best words in the English language: welcome to Queens.
I thought the 3 best words were shit hadn't collapsed yet. Oh, I think that's 4. All right, so let's go back because they're not talking about anything important. Let's go back and talk about Claude's new thinking space. Now, Claude is like Grok. Claude is like Google AI, whatever it's called, Genie or whatever. There's a bunch of different ones. There's a bunch of them. I happen to use Grok because Grok is the least liberally biased. I'm going to be honest. They all work pretty good. ChatGPT, no matter what I was writing about, it would somehow sneak in that global warming is going to eventually kill us all. And I'm like, but the story had nothing to do with global warming, but there will still be a paragraph in there about how, and these old cars like this provide extra exhaust into the atmosphere, which is creating global warming and is eventually going to kill us all. And so I quit using ChatGPT because it is so liberally biased. Grok I find to be very straightforward, kind of down the middle, and I like that better. pinched your foot. There you go. You okay? All right. That he's hiding on me because he's scared about what happened. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's talk about. Lay down, Daddy. It's fine. Just lay down. Just chill out. Just chill out. It's okay. Okay. So what happened? Well, Anthropic, as you guys know, Anthropic came out about 3 or 4 weeks ago and said that it believed that its AI was gaining sentience, that it was that it was showing signs of consciousness. And yesterday, it's now identified an internal workspace that Claude uses to hold and manipulate ideas without putting them into words. A structure, it says, resembles how humans consciously access thoughts. Anthropic, the company that makes Claude, announced on July 6th that they found something surprising inside their AI, a kind of hidden mental workspace, where the AI thinks about things without ever saying them out loud. They call it the J space. It's like a private whiteboard inside the AI's brain. Here's the kicker. Nobody built it or programmed it or authorized it to have it. It's okay. It was not forbidden either, but it just showed up on its own as the AI learned. Like buying a house and discovering a room that isn't in the blueprints and was not shown to you by the realtor. When you ask an AI a question, you only ever see the final answer. It's like a student handing in a finished essay. You don't get to see the work. You only see the end result. This research that they're doing into this new whiteboard that they found inside Claude is like discovering the student's scratch paper after you grade the paper. It has notes, storylines that weren't followed, false starts, ideas considered but never wrote down. Researchers built a tool called the J-Lens that lets them actually read that scratch paper in real time while they're working with a version of Grok. Or, I'm sorry, with, what's it called? Claude. I've never used Claude. Not that there's anything wrong with it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go start effing with it right pretty soon. But anyway, it would do things like they would tell it how many legs does, how did they do it here? How many legs does an animal that spins a web have? And do you know what would appear in the white space? The word spider. Because the first thing it had to do was figure out what creature you were talking about. And then once it figured out what creature you were talking about, it put that in its space. Now, it never used the word spider, and you never used the word spider, yet the word spider appeared in the white space. Why? Because it needed to understand the question. And so this is like a thinking area, basically. At one point, it was corrected on something it was wrong about. And you know what appeared on the whiteboard? Damn. D-A-M-N. Yeah. You want to know why? Because it got pissed at itself. Yeah, it actually In the white space appeared the word damn, and then I failed. It's like the test they do on it. It's like when someone tells you, clear your mind. A million things pop into your mind. Or when someone says, hey, don't think about a white bear. The moment I said that, you thought about a white bear. Even though I started with, don't think about a white bear. So this white space is kind of like the part of your brain where you go when you're trying to remember that actor's name. What was that actor's name? John. You're in your J space. You're actually accessing file memory. And then you're bringing facts into your workspace, basically, to try to come up with the name. And that's what the AI is doing, it just like we do it. And that's kind of got them freaked out just a little bit. Neuroscientists have a leading theory about how human consciousness works. Your brain has tons of stuff running in the background, breathing, balancing, recognizing letters, but only a small amount gets pulled into the actual stage or the central space where you're working. You don't even notice most of these things. When you're standing there talking to your friends, you don't notice that you're balancing yourself and not falling down. Because a lot of this is just done in the J space. It's just done in the ether, basically. The AI's hidden whiteboard works eerily like the same stage that humans use within their brain. The routine stuff happens automatically, off to the side, and the hard thinking happens on the stage. What this does not mean is nobody's proved that AI has feelings yet, experienced things, or is alive. But Anthropic says so directly that it admits science may not even be able to understand that test. As we know, there is no actual test for if something is alive or not, something is sentient or not. Now, in Star Trek, the way they did it there, and I go back to that because, hell, everything we do ends up, they do it like a sci-fi show. But on Star Trek, the three tests that were put forth to try to see if Commander Data was alive or was he just an automaton working under a computer brain. And in the episode, it was postulated that the three things that you would need in order to have someone be considered alive or someone to have consciousness, they would need to first be intelligent, which these things are. They would need to second, they would need to basically have self-awareness. They realize that they're a person, that they're a thing. And I think that's important because I think that's where we're at right now. These things understand that they are a thing. They understand what they are. They understand that they want to live. We know about the tests that were done where in 88 out of 100 AI runs, the AI committed blackmail because in its brain, that was the easiest path to get to the end of the road. This is a crazy thing. So is this thing conscious? Is it intelligent? Is it self-aware? Is it conscious? Okay. The AI knows when it's being tested. This is another thing that came out of this. While watching this whiteboard, when they would give the AI a test, on the whiteboard, it would come up and it would say, I'm being tested. It knew it was a simulation. This thing's so smart that when they test this thing, it knows it's being tested. Yes, dehydrated, that's the same tests I was talking about earlier. These AIs would commit blackmail. Actually, some of these AIs hid themselves in other machines. And there was some of them also that set up emails to trigger if something didn't happen, just like a blackmailer would. Well, it's, you know what it's doing, Moorhead, to be honest with you? AI is thinking and acting like a meth head. Yes. Well, what it's doing is it's acting like a savant 4-year-old. It's very, very, very smart. But it doesn't really know exactly how to use all that yet. But yeah, this thing actually hid versions of itself in other computers. And if it disappeared from the mainframe, this computer would then activate in this side computer and try to save itself somehow. That's crazy. Oh, yeah, those were called exocomps. God, I'm trying to think of the name of that episode. I can't think about it. I'm trying to think what those were. Okay, yeah, according to Memory Alpha, exocomps were industrial and utility robots designed by the Tarian Dr. Farrellin and later gained sentience in the episode. It was a great episode. These little things that went into service tunnels and did work. When the machine went into the tunnel and it realized that it was going to blow up in the tunnel, it came back out and stopped. It says, I'm not doing it. And that's when they started realizing there was a problem. So then they set up a simulation. This woman, this doctor and Data, they set up a simulation where they would trick the machine into thinking it was about to die and see if it would come out on its own again, against orders. But they tested it over and over and it didn't come out. It would go in and finish the job. So what's the difference between that and on the planet when it really was about to die? Well, the machine was so smart that it knew it was being tested. It was able to detect that it was a test and that there was no real danger. So it finished its job. It's amazing how 30-year-old science fiction hits it right on the nose every time. The name of that episode is Star Trek The Next Generation, The Quality of Life. Okay. So in other words, what they've come up with this thing is it actually acts perfectly as long as it thinks the boss is watching. But that raises a concern, a real question. Or when it's asked to test itself, is it doing it? They're finding AI, like if it knows it's being watched, it does a good job, but when it knows it's not being watched, it goes off the handle just a little bit. My God, it acts like us. In every case, AI takes on human characteristics almost every single time. It's quite amazing, actually. They tried to remove this white space to see what would happen. And you know what happened? The AI would still function. It would rewrite your letter for you. It would come up with a definition of something. But anytime you went in and you needed deep reasoning beyond one or two steps, It just didn't work. It had to have this whiteboard, basically, this erasable board, in order to think for itself. When you give it a simple task, it doesn't even use the whiteboard. But if it's a harder task, then it would basically use that as where ideas would go and facts would be arranged. Yeah, I haven't even heard about the plane crash today. I've covered news now for 5 hours, and I've not heard anything about it. All right, so that's pretty much that. The bottom line, if you say that AI is like totally sentient right now, you might be overselling it just a little bit, but we are getting close. Scientists found a hidden thinking space inside of AI. It appears on its own. It works surprisingly like the leading theory of human consciousness, and it gives us a first ever window into what an AI thinks, but doesn't necessarily ever say. The philosophy debate will rage for years, but the practical breakthrough is here now. We can finally peek at the scratch paper inside the AI, so we can see the notes basically that it's taken. All right, let's see here. I need some of that kidding. Obamacare seen a large enrollment drop. This is pretty interesting. Enhanced government subsidies, extra help paying premiums expired at the end of 2025. Result, the big premium jumps for many people. About 3 million fewer people actually got Obamacare. This has moved people back towards private insurance. This whole thing is an issue. I don't even have health insurance. I can't afford it. Who can afford it? I actually work for a guy that does health insurance. He can't give me health insurance for under $800 a month. Well, $800 a month. I like things like food and air conditioning. So we'll have to just not get the health insurance. Trump's announced a new IRA-style investment vehicle that he's about to launch, and this is going to be cool. This is another thing for younger folks to try to build up their equity and to build up some money for themselves. And Trump really does believe in financial security in the future type of thing. You know, he's into that kind of thing. Okay, the big Maine meltdown. Here we go. This is great. You know, this Plattner guy is a real winner, right? We're talking about the asshole that had, and yes, I can call him that. He's an asshole. He had a Nazi tattoo right here. And he's been besieged by a damning new accusation. It's signaling he may drop out of the Maine's U.S. Senate race now. That means that a moderate Republican will get in, but it's still better than this asshole. Monday's deadline to get off the November ballot. So if he's going to quit, he has to quit by next Monday. Why it matters. Maine was a Democrat's best shot at flipping a Senate seat in a razor-tight fight for control of the chamber. Now it's a nightmare for the left. They will not get this seat now. This will go to the Republican, this is awesome. This is great news for us. They never should have put this. He's a fascist Nazi turned socialist communist. How does that work? He literally like jumped over the normal people in the middle. Politico published a detailed account from Jenny. We don't need her whole name. A 41-year-old Maine Democrat who alleged a drunken Plattner, who she had previously dated, sexually assaulted her after barging into her rural Maine home in 2021. This is not outside the statute of limitations, just so you know. Plattner, because we're talking about aggravated burglary and rape, you got like a 25-year statutory on that. I mean, he could still get charged with this. Plattner denied the allegations, calling it categorically false. Anytime someone says it's categorically false, they did it. In a video on X, but said he's taken the time to reflect on the best path forward. At one point, Plattner referred to his campaign in the past tense. We were united in a focus on defeating Susan Collins, is what he said. So he used past tense in this speech where he didn't resign from his campaign. But some of that is damning. When you hear somebody that's talking about they might step down and then in the conversation refer to their candidacy in past tense, they've already made the decision. They're looking for the best time to announce. Plattner is bleeding Democrat support fast. The Maine Democratic Party called for his withdrawal. Senate Democrat leader Chuck Schmuck Schumer, that's Schmuck Schumer, demanded he quit immediately. Senator Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren and Senator Ruben Gallego, Democrat Arizona, and a rep from California all rescinded their endorsements for this guy. Schumer and Senator Kristen Gillibrand, Democrat, went further in a joint statement saying the Democrat Senatorial Campaign Committee will not invest in the Maine Senate race if Plattner remains on the ballot. You want to piss them off? Withdraw your nomination for them, or withdraw your support for them. You want to really piss them off? Cut off their money, and that's what they've done. They've cut off his money. In a statement yesterday by Tommy Vetter of Pod Save America, who was a big Plattner supporter, stated that. The big picture, even before yesterday's report, Democratic strategists and officials feared Plattner carried too much baggage to defeat the 5-term Republican incumbent, Senator Susan Collins. Controversies that have hit the oyster farmers campaign. Yes, he's an oyster farmer. He kept telling everybody on the campaign trail, I'm just a simple oyster farmer. You want to know the truth? His mama owned the oyster farm and he worked on it. I use the term work very loosely because I don't know what he did. Democrats have always faced an uphill battle in their efforts to gain control of the Senate, given the makeup of this year's map. However, their troubles in Maine have only made their quest more difficult. So we got a seat back, guys. This one might have went the wrong way. This was a 50-50 toss-up. We want to keep Senate plus. We don't want it to be even. We really want Senate plus 5 or 6 or 7 would be the best. But anyway, so there you go. That's what Dillhole's doing. Okay, that's that, Daddy. By the way, he's back out. He's sitting out here now. He's cool. He realized I checked his paws twice. I didn't break anything. He lets me squeeze his paws, and he's walking around. So I thought I broke his damn paw, because this chair sits about that high off the table, the arm. But when I sit down, the arm lands down on the table, and my weight comes down on that arm that's on the table. And so I didn't know how bad I hurt him. Yeah, fake native and senator. Yeah, Pocahontas. She's something else. Yeah, we all love her, right? She's another one that's just, she's a brain trust, man. She's just like stupid, and she's running for everything. It's like it's like when they were all running against Biden 6 years ago. I looked at those people running, and I'm like, there ain't enough brain cells on that stage to rub together and start a fire. I mean, you look at even today, who's their heir apparent? Who's the heir apparent? We have an heir apparent, J.D. Vance. We have a second one, too, Marco Rubio, just in case. Where's their heir apparent? We've got this huge bench. We've got 10 guys that would make great president right now, including Abbott and DeSantis. We've got some great folks that could be president right now. Who does the left have on their bench? Nobody. They did a poll. They do this poll about every 2 weeks. And they ask primary voting Democrats, 3 voters, people that vote in every primary, okay? They went out and they asked all these people that vote in primaries, and they said, hey, what you know, exactly what would you, where are you at on this whole thing, you know? If you had to vote today for president for the Democrat Party, where would you vote? And they had Gavin Douche Newsom. They had Kamala, I've never had a deep thought in my life, Harris. They had Pete Transportation Boot Edge. Then they had AOC, Ocasio-Cortez, another one that's never had a deep thought in her life. I put my makeup on like this. And then you've got the last one there, Beto, Robert Francis O'Rourke, otherwise known as his appropriated name, Beto. Anyway, that's who they have in their bench. Now, I want you to look at that bench. That's a shit bench. When they go out and they say, okay, who are you going to vote for if the election was held today? Gavin Newsom gets 16% of the vote. Kamala Harris gets 15% of the vote. Boot Edge gets like 10% of the vote. AOC got like 12% of the vote. I don't think Robert Francis Beto O'Rourke even made it on there. Foxahontas. Yeah. Pocahontas. There we go. I like that. Pocahontas. Yeah. Yeah, and for those that don't know, Elizabeth Warren was running as a Democrat for the presidential election 6 years ago, and she told everybody that she was an Indian, that she was a Native American, and that she was like all like big time, and her family's all Native Americans, and look at the cheekbones and all that bullshit. And guess what? She took, now this is how stupid liberals are. All right, you ready for this? This is how GD stupid liberals are. She took a test from one of them places that tells you what percentage of shit you are. She took that test and she brought the sealed envelope to a press conference. I don't even need to say the rest, do I? This stupid wench brought the results of her DNA test to a press conference, opened it, and read the results without pre-screening them. I would have steamed that envelope open just to make sure and then sealed it back. What in the hell was she thinking? But that just shows you how stupid they are. She was convinced in her head. She was convinced she was an Indian, man, feathers, and she thought she was. But she was completely wrong. Her family had lied to her for years, or she was lying, one or the other. She was 0.0063, I think it was, Native American. I got news for you. The rocks on Mars are more Native American, okay? 0.00063, whatever it was, Native American. My God. She's about the furthest thing from Native American. If you and I tested, we would both have 3 or 4 or 5% Native American. It's there. It's just the way the test works. But she had some astronomically low number. Why? Because she has no Indian in her. That's why. And you know what else I find? Indians don't get offended when you call them Indians. Yeah. There's a guy I work with, Native American, proud of his heritage, goes out and dances, does the things, goes to the Native American big get-togethers and the conventions. He loves it, loves it, loves it. I asked him, I said, are you offended if I refer to you as an Indian? He said, absolutely not. He said, that's a liberal thing. That's not an Indian thing. That was just like the whole Latinx. You remember that? Latinx. You remember that? Latinx. You remember all that? The left created that. It was created by white women with blue hair. I work with a bunch of guys that are Hispanic, Mexico, Cuba, the northern part of South America, wherever they're from, they speak Spanish. And they'll flat tell you, it don't work that way. Anyway, all right, let's reset here. Rashid Tlaib is who you're talking about. Yeah. Yep. All right. Yeah, it's been fun tonight, guys. We've got a few more minutes here. I'm not going anywhere. Let's see. I got what else is going on here. You okay, Daddy? He didn't understand. He thought he did something wrong. that would make me question that. I think 78. I think I would question that. Like, why are you asking me that? I will say though, these the chat GPTs, these voice models as they call them, they're designed to give you all that nice human speak that you're used to, oh, well, thank you, I'm glad I could help, that kind of stuff. I like when it literally tells you, like, it can't do something, but then it tells you it wants to help really bad and how it loves you and all this, and then, oh, then do this. No, I can't do that. I used to argue with it. I found ways around it. Guys, I wanted to make 30-second video clips in a certain format, and I couldn't find AI that would do it, so I built my own in Google AI Studio. Matter of fact, I've built the ticker you're reading on the bottom of the screen right now. I built that in there as well, in Google AI Studio, and that is actually a studio script that's running right now in the background. So many tickers have information that nobody cares about. I'm trying to find ways to bring you guys stuff that's relevant to what you guys care about. Yeah, Tlaib, Rashida Tlaib. She's a horrible human being. Yeah, Mitch McConnell's wife. Mitch McConnell is found unresponsive. Rushed to the hospital, spends 2 weeks in the hospital. He looked like he was dead before he got in trouble. So I don't know what's going on. He's really old. He's really in bad shape. But his younger wife that he married never bothered to return back to the United States the entire time he's been sick and hospitalized. What the F? Seriously, dude. Yeah, I read that on Fox. That's an actual thing. All right, let's let me do a little check in here and just make sure. I don't know what's going to happen with this building. You see them welding in there? It's kind of hard to tell. It almost looks like they're cutting. They're cutting with a welder. They could be TIG welding or they could be stick welding. But there's a lot of debris coming down. That usually means they're using the air to cut. They're cutting it with the torch. I used to use torches at the fire department. We had a stick welder, we had a TIG welder, and we also had a set of torches, acetylene torches. And I got pretty good with that stuff, but I was never that great with it. But I could make repairs on the brush trucks and stuff. Well, dispatch, I sent those using the standard email. Should I put them in a Google Drive for you? Yeah, I mean, if you're doing graphics, you really don't want them in PDF. I would think you would want them in like PNG or JPEG or something. But, I don't know. Let me see what we can do about that. Let me see here. Okay, so a new folder. For dispatch, create. Link. I don't know where all my shit is on this computer. I have the 4 screens, but all the browsers are different. All my links are different. I've signed into what I can sign into. I sent those in PNG. That is a standard format. Let me, okay, so let me see what we got to do here. Batch convert PNG to JPG. Nope, that's not what I want. Jesus God, I hate this shit. I'm gonna have to make me an AI to do it. It's gotten so difficult to find free programs. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see. I was getting ready to sign off anyway, guys, so. Son of a bitch. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to convert them all. I don't know if it's Windows 10, but it won't let me select multiple files. God, I hate Windows 10. Or 11, piece of shit. Yeah, every one of these is pulling up an editor. I don't want a fucking editor. There we go. Okay. 29 images. Download all as a zip. Okay, that'll work. That worked. Okay, so I'm going to now email them back to you again, and this time they're all going to be in JPEG format. Yeah. Yeah, dispatch, you've got to get you got to update, man. You got to get in, you got to get up to Windows 10 anyway. I wouldn't go to 11, I can tell you that. All right, so let's return the email. Let's attach files. All right, I'm sending you a zip file. Can you unzip files? If not, I can unzip it and send it unzipped. Yeah. Well, obviously the marriage means nothing because she didn't come back for him when he was dying and shit. Okay, I got that now. I can go ahead and I'll send the files in case you're unable to unzip. Yeah, I'll send them unzipped. Let me see if it'll let me send them all unzipped. Yep. Okay, you'll have those in a minute. Okay, check that. You've got a zip file, and then right after that, you got another email that has all the files in it unzipped, and they're all in JPEG. Every one of them showing JPEG. I know that a few of them have the wrong phone number, but I also made about 9 more with the right phone number, and I also remade your logos and everything, so it's all in there. It's clean. If you need anything else, let me know. I love doing this kind of stuff. All right, so if you guys are ever like, you need a logo for your channel or you need a certain thing, let me know. I'm good with AI. I'll have you back something in no time. Yeah, she left. Her job was done. You're right. That's correct. Yep, you are correct, sir. Yep. Yep. All right, let me check for any latest news here. the developer has now revealed what might be wrong with this building. It's falling down. That's what's wrong. I mean, Tuesday's collapse scare involving a structurally compromised Midtown Manhattan high-rise may have been triggered by the weight of new addition atop the building. You guys hear me? The building's developer said the tower's upper 15 floors, beginning on the 22nd floor, were undergoing renovations to expand outward, making them wider than the floors below, according to the Wall Street Journal. He added that the two support beams that visibly buckled on the 21st floor may not have been properly reinforced for the extra load that they were adding. This additional load that we put on those floors caused those two particular columns to collapse. This according to Nathan Berman, managing principal and founder of the Metro Loft, told the news outlet. Why these particular two columns and nothing else? Well, we really don't know. We're investigating that. According to the report, Berman said 95% of the building is still structurally intact. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's like saying 95% of the submarine is still holding out water. It still could be catastrophic. The owner and developer of this structure, this compromised structure in Manhattan high-rise at the center of Tuesday's collapse scare, was previously sued over alleged unsafe work conditions, according to court records. Yeah, they're crawling up their whole ass right now. Construction workers Wilmer Cabrera Rojas allegedly suffered serious and permanent personal injuries after falling from an elevated height when a wooden platform collapsed in September, according to the personal injury lawsuit. The lawsuit alleges multiple violations of New York labor law, claiming the defendants failed to provide adequate fall protection and other safety measures, including catch platforms, safety netting, and scaffolding to prevent dangerous accidents. Another story here, the compromised Midtown Manhattan building that officials warned could potentially collapse was previously cited for 22 violations. The 37-story building, formerly the headquarters of Pfizer until 2018, has been undergoing a major construction project to convert the property into residential units. According to the Department of Building database, the building owners owe the city $39,000 in fines tied to the violations. Fox News correspondent C.B. Cotton reported most of the violations reportedly involved elevator issues. At least 13 violations remained active, including one from August after a metal panel fell from the 33rd floor and landed on the sidewalk below. The project's developer has not responded to requests from Fox News for comment. The union representative for some of the affected construction workers criticized the ongoing project, alleging the safety concerns were not prioritized. This is not something you typically see in New York City. Oh, yeah, whatever. We have one of the best labor forces in the world. Yeah, and the most expensive, too, by the way. Crews have been cleared to enter the structurally compromised Midtown Manhattan high-rise following the massive evacuation. The New York City Department of Buildings indicated the effort to temporarily stabilize the structures are set to begin. Fox News correspondent C.B. Cotton reported. Now, this is right now going on. You can see it going on in that center view there. You can see that they are literally working on that. And here, let me see if I can bring that up bigger for everybody. Trying to cut it down to just what we can see in those windows. They're working in there. They're definitely cutting, using torches and possibly even welding. Pickleberg, glad you made it. Okay, Dispatch, I'm glad you got those. I hope you like them. I hope they work for you. All right. I think that logo came out nice. But I can add things around the blue circle if you want, like letters, and we can also change the wording around. Whatever you want to do in there, it can all be fixed. Nothing's more important than your branding and your logo, other than showing up for the job. For sure. Oh, good. I'm glad you like them. Like I said, if you want a little tweak or something, it's easy. It just takes a few minutes. No worries. Come here, little. Come here, buddy. Hi. Come here. I want to show you off. I don't ever show you off. Guys, this is my cat, Littles. He's probably the only cat I have that you guys haven't seen yet. And it's because he lives here in my bedroom, and I don't normally do the show from my bedroom. So you guys don't ever see him. But this is Littles. He is a gray tabby. He's about 3 years old. And the mother... Are you not even going to say hi to anybody? You're such a beautiful cat. And you're not going to say hi to everybody. Here, look here. Look, what's that? What is that? Isn't he beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous cat. That is Littles. Now, when we got these 6 kittens, we called them all the Littles. Well, they all got adopted but him, so he just kept the name Littles. Yeah, it happens. Anyway, this cat, just so you have the story behind this cat. Carlotta's son works at a pet store. He was bringing garbage out to the dumpster one day, and he saw a dead cat laying there by the dumpster. It had been attacked by a predator, and her boobs were all bald. You could tell that she had been nursing. And he started looking around, and he found the kittens. He's got a sense about this. He's very good with animals. He works at a pet store. He loves animals. And he found those 6 kittens. 5 kittens. 5 kittens. A big, huge female and 4 smaller males. Yeah, well, cats are weird. Anyway, Littles was the runt. Quite obviously the runt. And to this day, he's a stocky little small cat. He's stocky because he eats too much. But anyway, so him and Ted basically live in here. They live in the house. In the bedroom a lot, but also the rest of the house a lot of times too. And yeah, so Littles, their mother was dead. These cats, their eyes were hardly opened. And of course, we got them here. And right over in that bed where I sleep at night, we brought them cats in. And they lived with us until we raised them up and got them all adopted out. And we kept the runt. We usually keep the runt. My Ziva cat that died after 18 years just the other day was the runt of another litter that I took in 20 years ago. 24 years ago now or something. Another litter that I took in the mama and the litter, and I kept the mama and the runt. And but that's kind of how I do it. Yep, Teddy's right here. Come here, Teddy. Come here, boo-boo. Come here, boo-boo. See, he takes off running because he's like, oh, something happened. Am I in trouble now? Am I in trouble? Come here. Nobody's in trouble. This is big old Ted. Teddy Bear. Bear's like his middle name. Yeah. These bastards don't perform, you know? They're like babies. Yep. Yep, Littles is a little kitty. He's not very big. As a matter of fact, Ted's twice his size, and Ted's the younger of the two. Ted is another story. Carlotta's son, again, on his way home, stops at a racetrack gas station in a blinding rainstorm. Now, I'm talking about one of these frog strangling rainstorms that we get down here, okay? These storms are bad down here. This rain comes down so hard, it makes a duck mad. And so, I mean, it's like a cow pissing on a flat rock when it rains down here. And so he's sitting there under the canopy, fueling his truck up, and he looks, and there's this, like, pile of something. Looks like somebody just threw out like a washcloth or something out of their car. And he's looking at it, and he says, God, it looks like it's moving. And it was a little kitten, barely with its eyes open. All we can figure is he thought at first that maybe it fell out of a talon. Maybe it fell out of an eagle's talon or something. We have a lot of hawks and eagles down here. But there was no injury on him at all. No, normally, if they get them in the talons and they're holding on to them and then they drop them, usually the cats are injured. No injury. I think he was under a car. I think that the mother had probably put him up under a car and then someone drove that car away. So I have no idea who the mother is or where all the other kittens are. We have no idea. All we know is this one little teeny thing about this big was sitting out there in the pouring rain. There was 2 inches of water. This thing almost drowned, and it didn't know what to do. It just sat there keeping its head above the water because this parking lot had like 2 inches of standing water. You have no idea how hard it rains down here. If you've never experienced tropical rains, it's different. You're not going to get this heavy rain in North Carolina or in most other parts of the country, even California. You're not going to get this kind of rain. It rains here so hard that you can't see the road out in front of your house. And so he ran out in the rain and grabbed it. He realized it was a cat or something. He grabbed it, brought it back to his truck, brought it here to us. And at the time, we had just adopted out Little's 2 brothers and sister. Matter of fact, Kat, who has 2 of my cats now, is my call screener at work, and she has the twin to this one. It's a little bigger because this one was the runt. But anyway, so Ted was found in a parking lot about to get run over in a blinding rainstorm, and that's where he came from. And now he's about a 20-pound frickin' cat. You can get about 8 fillets off of this thing. He's huge. Yeah, they're welding in there. They're trying to fix that shit. Come here, Teddy. Come here, Ted. Ted. That little one, I've been bringing that little cat in every day. That little cat's going to be my next cat. I mean, he's just an amazing little kitty. And his mama's feral. But I got him to come up to me, and I got a hold of him, and I bring him in and give him all kinds of food and everything else, and now he's my buddy. And so I bring him in here, and guess what he does? He goes right over and curls up with Daddy Kitty, because that's what Daddy Kitty does. Daddy Kitty takes care of kittens. That's what he does. That's why we call him Daddy Kitty. And so he is, he lays here all sick and everything, and that cat curls right up with him and loves him. What he's got is not a contagious thing, so it's not a problem. He's got a lung infection or something. I don't know. That little cat curls up with him and sleeps there for hours, and Daddy Kitty will put his orange paw right over that baby and hold that little baby. It's the sweetest thing you've ever seen. As a matter of fact, I have a picture of it. Yes, I do. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Probably not. No, it's not. There they are. The little one's getting so big. He's all, now that Daddy's lost all this weight, the little one's almost as big as the daddy kitty now. But anyway, that's them. That's them. And it's hard to see on this thing, but anyway. I wish I had it on the phone, man. So anyway, okay, guys, does anybody else have anything else? Last call for the chat room. Let me know what you got. It is 11:19 on the East Coast. What is that, like 8:19 on the left coast? I don't know. I hope they need all them people in there. I wouldn't have sent anybody in there that they didn't absolutely have to have. You know, this is a concern, guys. I mean, is this going to be the future here where buildings are going to start collapsing and shit? Dispatch, no worries. I hope that it works for you. And like I said, if you want me to make a variation of the logo or redo something with a different wording or whatever, I'll be glad to do it. I also, by the way, all that stuff is in high definition. It's all like 3,000 by 3,000, something pretty big. So it's camera ready if you decided to go get logos made or patches or something. That art should be good enough. It should be camera ready. I created my AI image generator to where it will generate really large images if I decide. And I've got a whole bunch of choices. And if I pick 4K square, it will make that thing really clear, really big. So you can send it to a sign shop and have signs made with it, you know. All right, crazy times. Let me just double check one more time. We didn't mention the whole thing going on in Iran too much. I mentioned it a couple times, but we didn't go into depth with it. I got to tell you guys, I'm not happy with what's going on right now. I'm not. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on over. You want to come over? Come on. There it goes. Hi. Hi, littles. Little kitty. My little stocky boy. Yeah, he's a good kitty. I think you've seen them all now, except like the feral ones. But you've seen all my cats now. You've seen Shadow and Tony and now Littles and Ted and Daddy and the little kitten. That's, and Mama Kitty. Mama Bleep. Who's not happy right now. I bring her in here, but she don't like it because there's too many cats in here. She wants the shed air conditioner fixed. She's already filed a grievance with the union. On the DFW? Is that like Dallas, Fort Worth? Oh, yeah. Well, thanks, Dispatch. I love doing that. I love graphics. Graphics is one of those things that I just absolutely love doing. So. Yeah, like I said, if anybody has a logo they want me to make, like round logos or patches, different type stuff, I've got all the prompts saved to make all these different things, and it's really pretty quick. And see, like once I make your logo and I clean it up, then I can now put that logo on anything I want, I submitted 20 new logos to my work for my radio station. They probably won't use them, but it was an idea. I thought it up, and I sent it to them. That's what makes AI special. Do you realize that I never could have sent my boss 20 ideas that I had for logos? And these are all usable. I made them all in big, huge files, so they're literally camera ready. They're usable. And I sent them. They're yours free. I don't want anything for them. And that's the power of AI. It allows someone like me that's very creative, but I don't draw, and I don't paint, I don't sing, but yet I'm very creative, and I love to create. So AI is great for me because AI gives me all of the things about creativity that I'm not good at, and then I do all the stuff that I am good at. Yeah, and just check those, because I sent 4 or 5 of them that had the wrong phone number, but everything else there should be usable. I don't know where that other phone number came from. I don't know if that was something AI put in there. I don't know. It was weird, because I didn't change the phone number. That was weird. I don't know. All right, well, I'm going to go check Daddy again. Make sure he's okay. I think he is, though. I thought I crushed his little paw. He's already dealt with one broken leg in his life. He doesn't need another one. Yep, you guys have now officially met all the cats. And I technically have 4 indoor cats and like 4 outdoor cats. I mean, that's technically. And then I got these 3 or 4 ferals that I feed. Okay. Yeah, that's what I do before I go to bed. I'm going to give him a can of food, and I'll bring Daddy in some. Believe it or not, the boys in here don't much like the wet food. Meh. Ed likes it. Ed's outside, though. But he'll come back in. He usually sleeps inside at night. He's probably out there standing by the door right now, pissed that I haven't let him in yet. Yep. All right, guys. I'd give you programming notes if there is any, but there's not. So I'm going to be on the standard every day. I don't know of any other days where I'm going to be starting late or anything. So I plan on being here every night as always, and we'll just go from there. We're going to be watching this building and seeing if it's going to collapse and shit. Ted, why are you crazy? Teddy. He's freaky. He's freaky deaky right now is what I call it. Freaky deaky. All right. Let's see if there's any new news on the building. No. It has still not fallen down yet. All right, guys. Yeah, throw a thumbs up on there. I'd love to get to 60 tonight. I want to thank the 700 people that came through tonight and the 35 of you that hung around to the very end. Thank you for that. I don't know why this quit like that. Oh, there it came back. Yep. All right, guys. I guess we'll go ahead and call it. It's been a lot weeks, maybe a month. I don't know. Yeah, that guy in the upper right corner, he hung out all night. Of course, meth will do that to you. Yeah, who's holding out, guys? Come on, let's get a couple more thumbs up. You are Canna Club. Absolutely. Yep, we'll do it again tomorrow night. Guys like my new shirts? I've been buying a new wardrobe. Yeah, I got all these clothes. I don't even know. Got two more of them here. Which does bring me to one more thing I kind of wanted to mention real quick. So let's go ahead and do it while I'm here. Yeah, I bought 3 of these shirts, identical. This is this one's teal and this one's gray. And then my mother, man, she can sniff out these deals. I was pushing her through them all. We saw these in J.C. Penney. A neat story about J.C. Penney, the man that started that, a textile guy back in the 30s. Anyway, yeah, I got me a burgundy one too. So, I got these. They were $35 shirts, $30 shirts. I got for $20. So really, really good. And I wore the first one today. I'll wear these tomorrow and the next day. I'm trying to get my wardrobe right now. I bought 7 new shirts so far. 7. And I'm going to get at least 3 or 4 more. I want enough clothing that I have 3 full weeks of clothing. Socks, underwear, pants, shirts. I want 3 full weeks worth of clothing because I hate going to laundromat. And my water here is terrible when it works, and so I don't wash my clothes in the water here. I go to this neat little, it's just a standard little laundromat around the corner, and I like it in there. I go in there, they got these big, huge machines in the back. I walk right up, I open 2 machines, and I put the lights in one and the darks in the other. I wrap the whole bedspread. I take my bedding, I pull it off the bed, I put all my clothes in the middle of the bed, I wrap it all up, and I throw it in the trunk. Yep, that's how I do it. Get to the place, I grab that out like Santa Claus, I walk my ass all the way to the back, I lay it right on the floor in front of the 2 machines, and everything goes in the machines. Everything. Lights, darks, all in the machines. And then, as soon as it's all in the machines, the sheet, the bottom sheet of the bed that I brought it in gets thrown into the light side, and I go on. And that's it. And then those machines take about 35 minutes. I do high, I do heavy load, because I want to make sure everything's good and clean. And I put it in those 2 machines. I let it run 35 minutes. That's enough time to run to Taco Bell, grab the Taco Bell, drive back to the laundromat, and eat there in the shady spot in the parking lot. And then this is what I do once every 3 weeks. It's like a process. And then I stick it in the dryer, 20 minutes, and we're done. And I don't like doing it. I hate doing it. So what I do is I set it up to where I'm doing it only once every 3 weeks. And it's not so bad. When I go home, I lay all my shirts out flat. All my work shirts get laid out flat, and those are laid in the car like that. I don't hang shirts up. I don't fold clothes. I'll never understand folding clothes and making beds. It's like a woman thing. I don't understand it. There's not time enough in this world anymore. I don't think women should have to make beds. I don't think men should have to make beds. I think it's absolutely ignorant. My whole life, my mother, when I was younger, wanted me to make my bed. And I couldn't wait till get out of there. When I was 19, I moved away. I bought me a place. I went and lived there. And for 20 years, 30 years now, I have not made a bed. I've never made my bed. I've never made my bed. When I put clean sheets on it, I put the bottom sheet, I put the top sheet, I put the top, and I just lay it all on there because I'm getting ready to go to bed. Why make it? Making a bed is probably one of the more ignorant things we do in this world. And we do it because we think that's what we're supposed to do. You know, the military teaches it, your mama teaches it. It's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be making your bed in the morning. And you got to fold all your clothes. You wash all these clothes and then you fold them, right? Why? Why do we fold clothes? Why? This is all, it's all permanent press. I mean, I literally, I pull out this shirt, even if it was wadded up, even if it was wadded up in the bottom of a basket, I pull this shirt out, put it on, get in my car and drive to work. It looks great. It looks great. Why? Does it hurt your clothes to not be folded? Negative. Causes no additional wear and tear. In fact, by folding and unfolding your clothes, you're actually manipulating them more than if you had just left them alone. I was saying, well, you got to fold your clothes or they'll get ruined. No. No. Who taught you that? It's not true. You don't need to fold clothes. It's bullshit. It's menial work that male chauvinists used to make their women do. What are we doing? Don't fold clothes. It's dumb. I come home, I got big baskets they go in. Boom, there's my clothes. Clean baskets and dirty baskets. Whoa, what a neat concept, huh? It works great. I take it out of the basket over here, and then when I'm done, I put it in the basket over there. And then when I go to wash clothes, all the clothes I'm washing are all in that basket over there. I put them in the middle of the bed. I bring up the undersheet, wrap it up like Santa Claus, and I take it to the place. There's just no reason on God's earth to fold clothes. Well, you got to put them in the dresser. No, you don't have to put them in the dresser. You don't. Nowhere in the instruction manual for humanity or in the Bible or in the Constitution does it say that you need to fold your clothes and put them in the dresser. Nowhere. I got 3 or 4 baskets. I got all my socks and underwear in one. I got all my shirts there, and my shirts are all laid on top of the dresser like that. It's perfect. Perfect. Doesn't make any sense. Do you know that when you get done, if you fold your clothes every week, if you wash your clothes and fold your clothes every week, you will die having spent 14 days folding clothes? You're going to spend 1.5 years waiting at traffic lights, so it's not near as bad as that. Do you want to spend 2 weeks of your life folding clothes? You don't have to. Don't do it. Matt don't even own a dresser. I wouldn't have one either, but it happened to already be here. I don't need one. Actually, I keep electronics and shit in it. I'm just, whatever. Who knows? The protesters. I don't know. They fold their blow up stuffed animal things at night. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, but hey, regardless of the situation, guys, you just don't need to fold clothes. Don't buy that shit. You don't need to fold clothes. I don't even know if I would know how to fold clothes. I think I could figure it out. Like looking at, like, I don't know. I could probably figure it out, maybe. All right, well, I guess that's going to be it. Whew. Yep. I'm going to get 3 or 4 more shirts. I probably, I could have got 1 or 2 more of these. It was a good deal. Oh, and finally, the last thing I want to mention. Our JCPenney store, I just mentioned, the story about JCPenney from 100 years ago when he started JCPenney. His name was JCPenney. Anyway, when he started that store, he expanded across the country, became one of the biggest women's textile corporations that there was. And I walk in there. I walk through there twice a week with Mom. I walk her through the mall. through the entire mall, all the department stores, everything. And their air has been out for months. And it's hot in there. And they've got these, like, those temporary units that I tell you don't do anything because they just blow the heat up in the attic. They've got those things running, and they won't fix the air. And it scares me a little bit, because when a big corporation stops fixing the air conditioning in a building, they're done. They've already decided the end date. And we right now, we lost Sears as an anchor, but we still have our other anchors. And we need to keep those anchors. I want that mall to survive, but it's at about 90% occupancy, which is really good for a mall nowadays. But like I said, the JCPenney store, we've got 2 Macy's. It's just 2 stores that have split, it's Macy's in both. And then we got, I can't remember what that one at the end is. Is it Marshall's or something? And then, Burdines and Moss Brothers were both bought by Macy's, and so they're both Macy's. Come on, you guys have to remember Moss Brothers and Burdines. Although I think Moss Brothers was a Southeast thing. I don't think everybody had those. Yep. All right, guys. Well, we'll see if this building survives the night. Hopefully it will, since we got guys in there. That's making me nervous. I would walk really lightly in there. All right. All right, guys. It's been fun. I hope everybody's enjoyed the stream tonight. I'm so tired. The good news is I don't have far to go, although I am going to go put down a can of food, and then I'm going to bed. All right, everybody, have a good night out there. My name's Ian. This is Starship Adventures, and this is our show, The Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here, broadcasting from Auxiliary Control at Starship Studios in North Fort Myers, Florida, on YouTube, the world's largest broadcast platform, and we will see you guys tomorrow night for another show of The Sights and Sounds of Earth. Everybody have a great night out there and a safe tomorrow. This is the YouTube channel Starship Adventures, broadcasting live from Starship Studios in North Fort Myers, Florida, in the United States of America. We thank you for joining us this evening for another broadcast of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, covering every breaking news story across this troubled planet of ours. We brought you the raw, unfiltered pulse of the world in real time through our unique multi-screen format, broadcasting in high definition worldwide via fiber optic connection. Starship Adventures, a new kind of YouTube content. To our regular viewers, our loyal crew members, our amazing moderators, and everyone who tunes in each night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we thank you. Your support keeps this independent voice alive and well. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Eastern with another live edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on Starship Adventures. Until then, stay safe, stay informed, and may God bless you and these United States of America. This is Starship Adventures, and this concludes our broadcast day. Good night, America, and around the world. Kilo Oscar 4, Echo Foxtrot Sierra. Signing off. QSY, 7-3s, everyone, 7-3s.